So that's what I tried to basically show you, is the impact of standardized testing on a student's program. So the exhibit that you have, and the audience does not have, is a grade 9 student. This is an actual student schedule of one of my 9th graders. I will not read the courses, but I will give the testing. Part testing. This is how we have scheduled it. So what you're actually seeing is this schedule for our test. On Tuesday, March 3rd, that's my birthday, but on Tuesday, March 3rd, we're going to have ELA grade 9 PBA test session 1, which will be 1.5 hours in the AM. We'll begin testing at 7:45. We will end at 9:15. The students will be absent from periods 1 and 2. And then on Wednesday, March 4th, we'll have ELA grade 9 PBA test session 2 and 3, 2.75 hours. We're going to schedule for PM testing schedule. We'll begin testing at 11:30 a.m. We'll end it at 2:15 p.m. And that student will be absent from periods 5 through 8. And then on Friday, March 13th, we're going to have the Geometry PBA test session 1 and 2 for 3 hours. That's scheduled for AM testing session. We begin testing at 7:45. We end testing at 10:45, absent from periods 1 through 4. Then we have the end of the year assessment, the EOY, which is Tuesday, April 28th. That same student will have the ELA grade 9 EOY test sessions 1 and 2 for 2 hours, scheduled for PM testing session. We begin testing at 12 p.m. We end at 2 p.m. That student will be absent from periods 6 through 8. On Friday, May 1st, we'll have the Geometry EOY test sessions 1 and 2, 2.75 hours, scheduled for AM testing session. We'll begin at 7:45, we'll end at 10:30, and that student will be absent from periods 1 through 4. Then this particular student takes World History AP. On Thursday, May 14th, that student will take the Advanced Placement Exam for World History, scheduled for 8 a.m., and that student will be absent from periods 1 through 4. And then we have the New Jersey Biology Competency Exam, which is Tuesday, May 26th, and Wednesday, May 27th. That's scheduled for 8 a.m. testing session. That student will be absent 2 days, both days, periods 1 through 3. And by the way, that test does not count. We're just meeting the federal mandate for a science test. Student growth objectives with assessments. The SGO, because every teacher has to have an SGO. So in the fall of 2014, it begins October 1st, there's a pre-assessment. And then that same student will have an SGO post-assessment for all classes spring 2014, because our deadline is April 15th. And then, of course, we have district assessments, which are benchmark exams in fall 2014, spring 2015. All classes do the benchmarks 2 times per year. That's a total of 2 days. Then we have final exams, June 2014. We eliminated midterms, and all classes will have 2 exams per day for a total of 4 days. And then we have teacher-developed formative and summative assessments, and those are ongoing. So that is a 9th grader. In designing the PARCC testing schedule, we looked at the amount of testing required not only for PARCC, but also for other tests which are administered by the state, college board, and district. We reviewed the exhibit. This is a 9th grade honors student. He'll be in PARCC testing 5 days. 3 days for the problem-based assessment in English, language arts, and mathematics, 2 days for the end-of-year assessment in English, language arts. We're looking at 11.1 testing hours, or another way of looking at it is 11.1 hours of instructional time spent on taking standardized tests. This time allotment does not include test preparation related to the district's aligned Common Core standard curriculum, or preparation related to the student's ability to take a computer-based test. Then, as I said, this same student will take the biology, the AP World History. 99% of our 9th graders take biology, so they'll all be involved in that biology testing. And then I mentioned the student growth objectives, pre and post. that are required by New Jersey Department of Ed for teachers to monitor student growth, which is then calculated into teachers' principals' evaluations. Then added to this are the teacher-constructed tests, as I said. This exhibit is of one student in one grade. However, this testing program does not change in much detail for grades 10 and 11. The difference with grades 10 and 11 is we administered district-wide 870 AP exams to 377 unique students. AP exams are the first 2 weeks in May. So look at the disruption that we have with AP exams, and then in May we also have the biology exams. I am concerned about how classroom instruction will be disrupted for weeks at a time to participate in testing. Classes comprised of multiple grade levels of students, such as world language classes, will be instructionally interrupted. If the students who are testing are not present in their classes, teachers may be reluctant to introduce new material. So not only are students who are testing losing quality instructional time, but also students lose quality instruction time when others in the class are testing. State tests are being tied to consequences for districts, schools, teachers, administrators, and students. As a result of making standardized tests high stakes, schools must focus more on outcomes, thereby obligating them to add more assessments such as practice tests and benchmark assessments. Before I close, I would like to quote text by Dr. Diane Ravitch, a noted author, professor, researcher, and historian of education. Teaching really does make a difference, and instructional time should be our #1 priority. Instead, we are constantly whittling away precious instructional time and then blaming teachers when learning does not happen. So it's not just about the time spent teaching to the test that bothers me. It's also about the actual time it takes to do the testing that concerns me. It's a huge problem that should be studied and resolved. Committee, I think we can all agree with Dr. Ravitch that testing is a huge problem that should be studied. However, I think many of us would also agree that the challenging part of the statement lies with "and resolved." Thank you again for giving me an opportunity to present my concerns to you today. You have a huge task before you as you try to examine data related to the volume, frequency, and impact of student testing and its impact on not only the educational program in our schools, but also the effect it has on the social and emotional development of our students. I know you will make recommendations in your report that will have a positive impact on each student's educational journey. Thank you again.